I came to Guruji in 97. After a lot of resistance, a friend of mine had brought me to Guruji. It was September and it was Thursday evening, 6 o'clock. And Guruji was sitting on his gaddi on his own. So when I was getting married in 88, my mother had warned me that teri shaadi India mein ho rahi hai. So tu ye guru ke chakra mein mat padna. So I was conditioned in that way not to believe in gurus and pandits and babajis. So I was very resistant and I was a total non-believer. Like in 97 I developed a skin ailment which was very grave in nature, very serious. And also since I moved to India in 88, after having been born and raised in England, I developed very chronic asthma. And though I was born with asthma, but the changing season in India, in Delhi, with the pollution and the changing season, had precipitated it. So it would get triggered off, which would send me to the ICU, and I would be on steroid injections and subsequently steroid tablets for weeks and sometimes months on end. So you can imagine the quality of life had totally deteriorated. So in 97 I had my worst attack in March, again the changing season, where both the doctors in the nursing home had looked at me while they were administering steroid injections, and they felt it was a very hopeless case. So they exchanged a look that said that I don't think she will survive this attack. So through some miracle, because I had to come to Guruji, I guess, through some miracle, I survived the attack. And then in September, when I was compelled to come to Guruji with a friend who was a staunch believer of Guruji, I simply felt that I had been a lost child who found its mother. I really felt at home at the first sight. And you can say it was love at first sight on meeting Guruji or faith at first sight, but I truly felt at home. The truth has its gravity, and there was no denying that Guruji, koi aise guru, pandit or babaji nahi the. He was, even now we cannot measure him in words. अभी भी अगर हम क्वांटिफाई करने की कोशिश करें या समझने की कोशिश करें कि गुरुजी कौन है, तो I think words will fail us. But ये faith जो होता है anyway comes from the heart and not from the mind. Where faith begins, logic has to end. So this is what happened with me. My logical mind stopped working, and my heart simply felt the love, felt his compassion, and it was totally assimilated in his grace. So Guruji ने सिर्फ इतना ही बोला था कि तू रोज आया कर. On meeting me at first sight, he said तू रोज आना है. This was his हुक्म. रोज आना के मतलब उन दिनों में एम्पायर स्टेट में वो 7 दिन बैठते थे गुरुजी, और 7 दिन लंगर लगता था. So I used to come, and he knew I was in a very difficult situation with my health and with my relationship, my personal relationship, my matrimonial marital situation was very, very serious too. So he said to रोज आना, क्योंकि यहाँ जो शब्द होता है, सत्संग होता है, लंगर होता है, and जो मेरे पास बैठना होता है, वो सब, everything has healing powers. So collectively I was getting healed by these 4 elements put together. And ये समझना बहुत मुश्किल है, because I remember I was having again another asthma attack, and this happened while I was sitting there in the Sangat, and he said, "Tu langar kha." I said, "Guruji, I need my hospital right now. I need my oxygen. I need steroids, and I need to leave." And while I was choking on my own words, I was totally suffocating, and I said, "Guruji, I can't sit here." He said, "Nahi, tu langar khana hai." Now it was very hard to fathom for me that, Guruji, who was meant to be so compassionate, could not understand that I can't breathe. I was really suffocating, and I was gasping for breath. and I needed only steroids at that point, steroid injections. And he said, langar steroids hai. And ye chapati nahi hai, dal nahi hai, ye oxygen hai tera. Ye tu kha. And you samajhne ki lod nahi hai, bas kha le tu. So with one langar, of course I was arguing with him telepathically, say what kind of who are you? You do not understand my misery. And how can you ask me to eat? Asthmatics will understand that you cannot drink water at the time of attack, so let alone eating food. But anyway, forcefully I consumed whatever I could, and he said, Ja Ram kar, Kaja ke Ram na so, which was totally unbelievable to my ears. You know, I just felt, how could I possibly sleep restfully? I know I'll go home, and then after maybe a while, I will end up in the hospital, in the ICU, as customarily I would do. And, but, of course, such were his ways. I slept blissfully. I thought it was a coincidence. Subsequent changing seasons came and went, and my asthma was totally gone. So that was October 97. And then a few months went by, and Guruji had said ki tu Shraddha mein paas hogi. He called me from the Satsang, Sangat, and he said, main tenu nimbu ki tarah nichodiya, tu Shraddha mein paas hogi. Down I made shakal dekhya. Now Guruji knew that I would avoid my inspection because from top to toe, I was covered in blood, and my face was inflamed as well as deformed. So I would say to Guruji, Guruji, aapko kaise pata ki main apni shakal nahi dikhti hu aine mein? He said, main Guru, main sab pata hunda hai. Now Guruji is and was at that point, and always will be, he is omnipresent. And he is so omnipresent that he proved it to me time and again. This was just one time, but there were many subsequent occasions when he would relate something, some conversation I've had at home, or some incident at home, and he would relate it to me on meeting him. He said, mainu sab pata hai, tera skin cancer theek pata hai. Now had he told me I have skin cancer months before, I would not have survived it, because it was a very daunting thought. I knew that it was not eczema, I knew it was not psoriasis, it was very ugly, and my skin was very unsightly, which made me look very unsightly, and it would make people avert their eyes on looking at me. And if I tried to eat something, my skin would crack. And then he would say, tu skin cancer theek hai, biopsy kara le bishar. Biopsy was confirmed, but by that time it already blessed me. So my skin miraculously, from red turned to pink, and from pink it became totally normal, with no blood, no inflammation, within weeks of him blessing me. So that was the second miracle. And then of course he used to say, and he used to emphasize the fact, कि एक बारी तुसी इत्थे आ जाओ और नाम दे नाल जुड़ जाओ. फिर अस्थमा की, कैंसर की, hole in the heart की, eczema की. I was born with hole in the heart and eczema. But that also Guruji took care of. Now my skin is as clear as day. There's no blemishes. There's no inflammation. With his grace, in fact, my skin is better than it ever has been. And even before I had the skin ailment. And he's truly given me a new skin. He's given me a true life, and a new life. And he said to me after he healed me of skin cancer, "It 2 December 97 with Marjandi." Now this claim corresponded with an astrologist in the same year. Guruji के आने से पहले मैं एक astrology के पास गई थी, and उन्होंने भी जब horoscope पढ़ा मेरा with my date and time of birth, he said कि तुम्हारी तो कोई life नहीं है December 97 के बाद. And Guruji had related the same. So वो तो सचमुच अंतर्यामी है, वो सब कुछ जानते हैं. He's omniscient, omnipresent, he's omnipotent. He's everything. And from being a total non-believer to becoming a believer is also his grace. In becoming an absolute believer, I am convinced today, after 14 years of coming to him, that, and maybe many lifetimes before this search was on, and now the search is over because I have met maybe what my soul was looking for many, many lifetimes. I feel that Guruji has truly He truly drives the vehicle of my life. He is my driving force. He is the wind beneath my wings in the true sense. And as he used to say in his words, to surrender kar do kabhi. And to surrender, you cannot possibly use your rationale. You cannot use your logical mind. आपको सिर्फ मानना है. He used to say, मांगो नहीं मानो. तो मांगो नहीं क्यों? क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं आपके लिए क्या अच्छा या क्या बुरा है. हम मांग लेते हैं छोटी छोटी material चीजें जो everyday चाहिए होती हैं. Whether it's a car, whether it's a job, whether it's a school admission, the list is truly endless. पर हमें ये नहीं पता कि असली चीज क्या है और हमारे लिए क्या अच्छा है. वो तो वैसे ही मिल जाना है. When one member of the family starts coming to Guruji, the entire family, I would say the entire neighborhood, people you come in contact with, they all get blessed. And you get what you need. So he protects your children, he protects you, he protects your spouse. Sab kuch gets aligned. Basically, I believe in my thinking and in my understanding, I believe that your life gets aligned, and jo hame 5 saal, 10 saal pehle bhi, the desire we had in our hearts, and we would hope that it would get fulfilled, somehow through a deep understanding or deeper understanding and through spirituality, we realize, oh thank God that prayer was not answered, because aaj mujhe jo nahi mila, main bahut khush hu, because I didn't need it. There's a very fine line between need and want. The wants to hang endless. There's no, we can't quantify our wants. But needs, he knows what's good for our soul, what's good for our life, what's good for this janam, this lifetime, as well as the subsequent lifetimes. And therefore, it's a journey. It's a journey which gets facilitated with Guruji's grace, with his unmeasured blessings, because the blessings do become unmeasured when you become aware that Guruji is the one who is there holding your hand and carrying you through. And on the subject of karma, he used to say, karma se kat nahi hai tusi, you have to go through your karma. Ye karma hai, skin cancer, asthma, maybe deep relationship karma, maybe financial karma. There's 3 reasons why people actually initially start coming to Guruji. It's always some kind of karma which is stuck, or which is very deep, and we feel trapped in our situation. It could be that we're not progressing at work, we're not progressing enough to secure its financial, empowerment. So therefore, we feel totally immobilized, and we feel that we're totally trapped in a situation. So basically it could be financial, relationship, where we feel that no matter what we do, things are not working out. Or it could be health issues that, we're constantly falling sick, or we're constantly attracting negativity. When we come to Guruji, first of all, he gives us the strength to endure our karma. Karma to kaatna hai. So he gives us the strength. He gives us that inner empowerment. In my case, I remember I came in a very dire situation, and my whole world was crumbling around me, from my health to my neglecting my children because of my health. Everything was a chain reaction, and my marital home being totally affected. And I was truly broken. My spirit was broken when I came to Guruji, and as I said, I did not believe until I saw him. Just at first glance, I knew that he is much more than my human mind can comprehend. And his larger-than-life aura, his magnificence, as well as his magnanimity, and his grace, and his compassion, and his smile, everything just drew me there every evening, effortlessly. And I just knew that Guruji is going to take care of my life. I knew, in the same token, in the same breath, I knew I had to go through my karma. And he used to say, Karam, tusi karo apne, jo pichhle janam ke hai, wo tak katne mein. And I will facilitate. Maybe he reduced the intensity. He reduced the intensity of the karma. And he gave me acceptance to endure that karma. So the inner peace started terminating, and the acceptance of that karma, which was very important. He said, "Pehले karam theek karo. Is janam ke karam to theek karo. What you're suffering is a consequence of maybe past deeds, but from now onwards, live with heightened awareness. आप समझो आप क्या कर रहे हो, समझो क्या सोच रहे हो, क्या बोल रहे हो, क्या महसूस कर रहे हो, and what you're doing. Because karma works on 4 levels. What you think, what you speak, what you feel, and what you do. So be aware कि कोई negativity नहीं होनी चाहिए. Have total and absolute faith. And love your Guruji. Because Guruji ke bina, I mean, there's so many shabads which again confirm this truth. कि Guru ke bina तुम्हारी चल ही नहीं सकती गाड़ी. And he takes care of every morsel, every molecule of our life. And he came to uplift humanity. He came to bring mankind back onto the right path. And without him, we were all led astray. We have gone astray, we have been led astray, and since he's been in our lives, there is hope, there is a promise, and there's a balance. I think there's a balance between the spiritual and the material, which he used to say is very, very important for a healthy living and for a meaningful existence. I will share my latest satsang with you, which is again health karma. Recently, about a month ago, Guruji, before he left his physical body, he said to wapas London chale ja. Now I couldn't relate to that because I was very, very happy in India after my divorce, which he blessed in 2006. I was very happy and I had rebuilt my life. I'm a calligraphy teacher and artist, as well as a writer. So I was very comfortable and set in my ways here. And suddenly he said to wapas London chale ja. So which really shook my ground. And I felt that how can I now rebuild my life in England? I have no work there, I have very little family there, and I certainly don't have the Sangat there, and I don't have Guruji's temple there, so there's a lot of void, a big vacuum, and a lot of uncertainty. But last year, Guruji created the circumstances for me to go back. My mother was taken ill, so I didn't even bat an eyelid, and both my daughters are now in university abroad in the US. So really there was no reason for me not to go back. The Guruji had created the circumstances and I had gone. Now he knows why he sent me. We do not know the bigger picture of why he tells us to do certain things. We all are very short-sighted, I would say. And we have a myopic view of our situation and, the world at large. So he said, so I went last year and I was quite miserable when I reached there for many months. And then, miraculously, I found Guruji's Sangat 10 minutes from where I live. Just 10 minutes. So I then got in touch with them, connected with them, and then we, this year in January, did a satsang in my mother's house. And that satsang was actually for my mother because she also melted and she became receptive with his grace. जब गुरुजी की मेहर होती है तो पूरी फैमिली आती है, पूरी फैमिली मानने लग जाती है गुरुजी को, because the सच्चाई है that will pull you towards it. You're bound to gravitate towards truth at some point in your life. So mom melted and she was so receptive. She said, "हाँ ये तो असली है," which she had already admitted many years ago after I got cured from my skin cancer. But now she was absolutely elated. So उनके घर में ही हो रहा है सत्संग. And she felt healed, At some level, of course, Guruji is protecting her, healing her. She was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis last year, and that's why I rushed back to England to live with her, to settle down. And though it was not my ideal home anymore, I knew I was doing the right thing. I was doing what Guruji wanted me to do. And when I found the Sangat there, it became a home. And I was comfortable there. And I looked at things positively. Okay, I have 2 homes. I have one in India and one in England. So what more could I ask for? So, Guruji has blessed me with 2 homes now. and I shuffle between the two. And this year, what happened though, coming back to my satsang, I felt sick. Though I didn't visit a doctor, I knew I was very tired when I moved to England, very fatigued, I was dragging my feet. Everything was a effort. So I came to India anyway, in Jan. I moved there last August. I came back this year, in 2011, in Jan. And Guruji made me do a lot of satsangs. Every day there was a satsang in somebody's house or the temple. And then I understood internally that Guruji is healing me from something. There were very real symptoms. One of them was sleepiness, constantly feeling lethargic, sleepy, and very, very tired, very fatigued for no rhyme or reason. So then I went back to England, and then again for Shivratri I came back end of February this year. And this time the satsangs grew by leaps and bounds. Everywhere I would go, I was very drawn to the temple, satsangs in people's homes, and speaking incessantly about my experiences with Guruji. And again I felt, okay, instead of going to doctor, I know that Guruji is healing me, so let it be. And then came April. I've been here since, as I said, end of February. It's been a long trip, and now we're sitting on June. So in April, I couldn't take it anymore. And during that time, somebody said, go to Kuwait for 8 days. You do satsang there. Again, it was Guruji's message. So I went, dragged my feet to Kuwait, did satsang 3-4 times a day, literally for breakfast, lunch, high tea and dinner. And in different people's homes. And again, by 10:30 in the night, I would be absolutely exhausted. And I'd be bloated, and I'd get a lot of pain in my stomach. Then when I came back, I finally had to go for my ultrasound because I couldn't take it anymore, the pain and the discomfort. So then they found that there are fibroids in my uterus, and there was some other growth. And then the gynecologist said, we will have to remove your uterus right away. We can't delay this because there's a lot of growth and it's a rapid growth. I said, fine. So May 2nd, last month, I had my uterus removed, and because it was laparoscopic, they discharged me 1 day later. Now, on discharging me, 2 days later, I got this excruciating pain which sent me back to the temple and to the hospital. So then I was admitted in hospital, and this time I couldn't take the pain. So they said, well, we can't relate to the surgery because the surgery was successful. The laparoscopic hysterectomy was successful. So we don't know what to attribute this pain to. So again, they did tests. And in 3 ultrasounds in 1 week, which they did, it was showing the same results. I had stones in my gallbladder, I had a blocked bowel duct, and I had some sludge in the liver. So fair enough, so now I just had a laparoscopic hysterectomy, and now they suggested I have another surgery. Now the surgery would remove the gallbladder, and another procedure was meant to be done where they would clear the bowel duct. Now, I was very dispirited, as you can imagine. First of all, I'm back for holiday. I'm here just visiting Delhi. And second, excuse me. Secondly, I was not prepared to go through another surgery so rapidly within such a short span of time. So, it was a Thursday evening, and SANGAT came over to see me, a few people from the SANGAT. And they brought this cake with them, and I was not interested in consuming the cake, so I just rejected it. And the SANGAT said, "Thoda sa kha lo, ye Guruji ka prasad hai." I said, how can a cake be prasad, So I started questioning, and I was very irritable, and I was very upset and very dispirited. And dejected actually, because I thought, ye Guruji kya kar rahe hain? And ek surgery, the dusri surgery, and I was on intravenous antibiotics, and so on and so forth. So it was quite a mess in the hospital. I said, नहीं मैं केक तो खाऊंगी नहीं, and tomorrow's my MRI, and tomorrow anyway I'll be on an empty stomach, but I'm just not inclined towards eating this cake. So they said, नहीं, actually it's prasad hai. I saw the cake and it said Jai Guruji on the cake, the chocolate cake. So I said, how come you have Jai Guruji written on it? कहते पता नहीं मैसेज था, हमने लिखवा दिया, get was soon कह रहे थे केक वाले को, तो उसमें कहते कहते हमारे मुँह से जय गुरुजी लिखे, then we got this blessed and ये प्रसाद हो गया आपका. So meanwhile the doctor walks in and the doctor said, ये क्या है केक जय गुरुजी? So the Sangat started doing satsang with the doctor. They said, आप कर लो अपने टेस्ट, कुछ नहीं निकलेगा. That was the final word. They had done a lot of satsang for an hour speaking about Guruji. And then they just said that आप जितने मर्जी टेस्ट कर दो यहाँ कुछ नहीं होने वाला. अनीता की MRI रिपोर्ट बिल्कुल क्लियर आएगी. They said, well, it's medicine against you can say spirituality or medication. It's one against the other, but we have to still do the MRI and we still have to go through the procedure, which is the gallbladder removal as well as the clearing of the bowel duct. So anyway, this was the first time I got some hope. Faith is very fragile. Even though I've been healed of skin cancer, asthma, cold in the heart, still faith is such that it wavers. So during that period, being in hospital for 2 weeks, I was very dejected and I was questioning Guruji's love for me. And I felt that he had withdrawn himself or I was not worthy of his love. A lot of negative thoughts come. Anyway, when you're a patient, you become very sensitive and negativity does, permeate you. So I was feeling very neglected by him. So on doing this satsang, there was a rose fragrance as we're all familiar with. So, and then I had the cake. And this time I had it with a lot of hope and promise. I thought, yeah, ye ho sakta hai, ye mera prasad. Guruji has come here today. And he's telling me to eat the cake. So I ate it. And then the MRI was the following day. By this time I was quite hopeful. Ki kuch nahi niklega. Though it was very hard to believe because the ultrasound had already confirmed. And 3 times it was taken. At 3 different occasions. Because they had to see now how bad is the gallbladder, how much blockage there is, etc., etc. So, in the end, we had the MRI where the Sangat again accompanied me, and my sister and my Dija, they accompanied me. And my sister was holding my head in the CAT scan. It's a very claustrophobic experience. So she was holding my head because I was extremely sensitive. And I said, I can't go through this. It resembles a coffin, this CAT scan. I feel like I'm dying. So it was a bit of a dramatic experience. So they were sliding me through the machine, and she held my head, and both her hands had rose fragrance. Guruji ki jo khushbu aati hai, dono haathon mein se aa rahi thi. So I was convinced कि कुछ नहीं निकलना, everything will be clear. Meanwhile, Guruji had given me a very clear message. आपको मालूम होगा कि MRI में 40 मिनट लग जाते हैं कभी-कभी. It's quite a long procedure. काफी लंबा होता है. लेते जाते हैं वो. And during that time, गुरुजी बहुत plainly मेरे पास आए हैं और उन्होंने कहा कि there is something that all of us need to be aware of. कि जब change आता है life में, any kind of ordeal or predicament or difficulty that we come through, it comes to teach us something about ourselves, primarily. And this change that came about in my life came basically to change me from within. So every change redefines us. And we need to reevaluate our lives. मुझे याद था जब गुरुजी थे फिजिकल में, उन्होंने कहा था कि शिव पुराण पढ़ाकर, शब्द सुनाकर घर में आनंद ले और जाप किया कर ओम नमः शिवाय का. Since I moved to England, I'd withdrawn myself from Shiv Puran, Satsang, Shabad and Jap. I was not really, जैसे गुरुजी कहते थे कि अच्छे आओ मंदिर, the Satsang is better, तो पूरा रस लेवो, आनंद लेवो. तो वो आनंद because I could not relate anymore in England, I had withdrawn myself from the entire philosophy or his entire concept which he had imparted to us. So I felt very lost, very, very lost. I was not connected. I was not really connected to Guruji spiritually for a long time. Since I moved to England, as I say. So long time means for the past 6-7 months. So I was always complaining. So he used to say that attitude of gratitude for Gururi hai. Count your blessings. So look at the glass half full, not empty. Be grateful. Stop being positive. Now, for me, this whole message during the Satsang awakened me from my slumber. And when I came back home after being discharged, of course, miraculously, the doctor entered my room the following day in the hospital, and he said, "Aapki MRI clear aayi hai," you know, which again, aapke Guruji ne hamari medicine fail kar di. Aapka 100% stones the gallbladder mein, aapka 100% surgery honi thi, gallbladder bhi block tha, और sludge थी liver में. समझ नहीं आई हमें, लेकिन जो भी है, अब आप नेक्स्ट टाइम जब मंदिर जाएंगे तो हमें प्लीज ले जाइए. So non-believers become believers because they need to see something, they need something tangible. हम सबको tangible evidence चाहिए होते हैं. And so I am an embodiment of His supremacy, His divinity. I have truly lived previously and I am still living in His blessings. Miracles word जो है बहुत ही it belittles Him. गुरुजी कहते एकदम एक बारी नाम ना जुड़ जाओ, बहुत मारा टाइम आ रहा है. मारा टाइम क्यों आ रहा है? Because as we all know, the tsunamis are hitting the earth and earthquakes. There's a lot of imbalance in the ecological system. There's a lot of imbalance within us as people. I mean, we all know what we're talking about. There's no peace now in society. Guruji कहते होते थे कि आजकल पैसा ही रब है, you know, and we know how true that is. उसके पास पैसा वही रब है, you know, to put it very simply, कि पैसों वाली की पूजा होती है. So Guruji used to say कि किसी को पता ही नहीं कि रब कौन है, कि रब की है. तो मैं इस करके आया समझान मुझसे. मैं आया थोड़ी लाइफ ठीक करने वास्ते, तो मैं समझान मुझसे and to get you back onto the path of truth. What we came here for, we all forget very conveniently that we are here because we're part of our journey, part of a spiritual journey. And yes, enjoy the material, enjoy and celebrate life, but not to forget that we have come from the source and we shall go back to the source. But while we're here, we must remain connected for a peaceful and happy, truly happy and giving life. We must learn to give, we must learn to love, and we must learn to live in the manner which are aligned with His laws. And so he said, I have come here to uplift humanity. Therefore, imbibe my truth, assimilate what matters. Baki sab kuch aise hi reh jana hai. You know, whatever we accumulate in terms of our material possessions or wealth, aise hi sab kuch reh jana hai. कुछ नहीं जाना नाल, सिर्फ एक नाम जाना है, मेरा नाम. फिर नाम के नाल जुड़ जाओ और देखो आनंद लो, फिर देखो लाइफ कितनी अच्छी हो जाएगी तुम्हारी. So yes, the journey goes on from this moment onwards too. This is my latest satsang and I'm here for another 10 days or so, and then I go back to England. England में भी गुरुजी ने सत्संग शुरू करवा दिया है. लंदन में तो हो ही रहे थे, मैनचेस्टर ऐसी जगह जहाँ Indians are very close-knit. It's a very close-knit community. But to embrace spirituality, to embrace Guruji is a challenge for people who have been born and raised in England. Very difficult. But yet, with Guruji's blessings, nothing is difficult because He facilitates everything. He gives meaning to everything. And we are doing satsangs there as well as satsangs in New York, Kuwait, the world over, you name it. And this is His grace. His life is spreading by leaps and bounds. His following is growing. And why is that? Because people are understanding that without a Guruji हमारे गुरुजी, life is tough, it's not easy, and जो struggles आती हैं, जो difficulties आती हैं, वो गुरुजी easy करते रहते हैं. जय गुरुजी.